So what we want to have a look in this lesson is some of the social aspects of SharePoint. Now, when we log into our Office 365 portal and we go to the SharePoint page here, you'll see that we get a list of all our SharePoint sites that we have access to. Now, a couple of items to note here is, firstly on the left, you'll see that we get a following heading. So this is a curated list. We don't do anything here. This is based on our interactions with the SharePoint environment. You'll see that we've got a recent heading as well. So these are the sites that I have been into recently. The system and the algorithm takes care of that for us. Now, what we can do if we want to follow a site, for example, so let's go into the marketing site here. So if we go into the marketing site here, you'll see that we have in the top right here the option to follow. So if we select that, you'll see that it changes to following. If we unselect that, it will go to not following. So if we want to follow that, so we select that, and then in here, again, what we'll see is that this will then update. You'll see now that we have our marketing as being followed and our team site as being followed. Now, if we want to change that from this location, we can again just select the arrow there, and that will basically unfollow it. And again, we can follow that again here. So we can do that from within the site, or we can do that from our page here. Now, underneath our following and our recent options, you'll see that we have a featured link. Now, this basically is a set of links that the whole organization will see, and this is basically maintained by an administrator. So see, because I'm an administrator, I've got the ability here to go in and edit. I can then go in and add a site. I would then put in the text and the address. So in this case, if we go to our marketing site and we copy the URL, you'll see what we can do here is we can go in here and add, and we could call this marketing. And then what we could do is we could then basically post the URL. All right, so we've got the copy of the URL, okay, and we'll save that. That will then update, and we'll go done here, and you'll see that our marketing will now appear as a featured link. Now remember, that featured link will appear for all users. Now our following and our recent, again, depends on each individual user, but our featured links is common across the organization. Now, on the right-hand side here, you'll see that we get news from our site. So there is the ability to put in news items inside each of our team sites here, and that is basically bubbling up into this page here, in this summary page for us. Now, if we go to See All, you'll see this is all the news items. Now, if I want to view a news item, all I need to do is select that. That will take me directly to that site and directly to that news item so that I can view that and potentially make a comment on that as well. So you'll see here that I get an idea of the site this appears in. So this news item is in the marketing site, and again, this is the article. This is the person that posted that article, and you'll see the number of views that article has. Now, if we go into our sites here, so let's go back to our marketing site. So let's go into our marketing site. You'll see that this news is coming from this news web part here. Now, the way that we can add that to our page is we simply go into Edit, put the page into edit mode, and then basically we hit the add a new web part option here. If we expand this, you'll see that one of the items that we have in here is the ability to create news. All right, so we can go in here and create a news item that is going to basically again create this item here. So let's publish this, update that page, and you'll see that we can then again go in and add news items. If I go in here and add a news item, all right, so we go through the acceptance here. We give the page a name, so let's say something like Christmas Day. And we can go in here and we can start editing the page. We could put in text, so let's put in text, something simple, okay, and then we publish the page. Again, we can edit this as we need to, and you'll see now that that news item appears in our list, and potentially it will bubble up into our overall page here. Now, it may take a little while for that news to bubble up into this homepage. It's not quite immediate, but it will happen in a short period of time. Now, the question is where are these news items actually created when we do create them? So if we go in and have a look at another news item, you'll see that our URL says that it is in Sites Marketing, it is in Site Pages. All right, so we can see here, if we go on the left hand side, we have an article, an item here called Pages. All right, so here are our site pages, right? So this is basically all the news items, all right? So we can again go in here and create new pages if we want. And if we want to get to this the long way, we can go into the cog, go into the site contents, and then what we'll find here is a library called Site Pages down the bottom here, which is basically just a wiki library, and that's where our news items are stored. So in summary, what happens is that you have the ability inside a team site to add a news web part. Those news web parts allow you to create pages. So these are basically wiki pages that will display information in the modern format. That will then display the news on the front page of the team site, and then also potentially that will bubble up to the summary SharePoint page here so that you can see news relevant on the sites that you have access to. Now remember, everything here is curated, it's based on your permissions, and you'll only see information that you have access to. Now remember, if we want to follow a site so we get more relevant information about that, you'll see that we can go in and we can favorite those. And again, we can favorite those by simply selecting the star here, and that will favorite or unfavorite for us automatically. So there's some of the basic social features that are now available when it comes to SharePoint team sites.